Hey scholars, it's Mrs. Jasnica, and we're back with another Draw With Me challenge. This week, we're going to be drawing a fox in the pool. What you'll need for this project is a pencil with an eraser, a paper, and something to color with, like markers, crayons, or colored pencils. This assignment is for 1st through 6th grade. Let's go ahead and get started. Just like always, we have to make sure that we have our paper in the correct position. For this assignment, we need our paper going vertical. That means up and down like this, not like this. Once you have your paper facing vertically, that means long ways going up and down, we can begin. The first thing we're going to do is find the middle of the paper, which is right around here. We're going to be drawing the raft that the fox is on and the fox going this way. Since foxes have pretty long tails, we're going to leave a lot of space down here for the tail. And then we're going to draw the body in the middle and the head up at the top. And I just accidentally wrote on my paper. All right, there we go. Anyway, let's go ahead and start on the head. So this is the middle of the paper, give or take. We're going to be drawing above the middle of the paper. I'm going to try to center it somewhere in the middle, but really anywhere around here is fine. We're going to start with the shape of the head, which is either going to look like an oval or it's going to look like the shape I'm about to do. So to start, we're going to make kind of like a sideways C shape. This is going to be the top of the fox's head. And you can duplicate, that means double it, and make another line going down this way to make the oval shape of the head. Or if you want to make it a little more difficult, you can do it the way Mrs. Jasnica is going to do it. So instead of making an oval that just goes like this, I am going to go down, and then where I get here in the middle, I'm going to make a little bump. That's going to be close to where the bottom of the fox's mouth is and where the nose is. All right, now we got to connect from here to here. So we're just going to make a curved line going from here to here. I just realized this side's a little fatter, so I'm going to erase it and try to make it look the same. Now remember, when you are drawing, you should make sure to draw in pencil very lightly so that you do not see your eraser marks. All right, that looks better. So this is the shape of the head. Now we do need the ears and all the other details. We're gonna work on the ears next. So the ears are going to be above the head, and this is gonna let us know how much space we need up here. I actually have too much space up here, but that's okay. We're gonna make the ears kind of like we made like a V shape, an upside down V, and a triangle inside of it. So that's kind of like the same shape we did when we did the cat ear a long time ago. So let's go ahead and make an upside down V. So here's the upside down V. And then inside of it, we can either make a line going from here to here, or you can actually make a triangle. So this is what it would look like if you made the triangle. Here's a triangle shape. If you would prefer to make it even easier than that, let me show you an even easier way. You can just make a line from here all the way to the tip. Now mine doesn't look perfect, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. This would be the outside of the ear, and this would be the inside of the ear. Now foxes do have like a little black tip to their ears. Of course, I will show you a picture. So we have to kind of add a little spot here, but we'll do that at the end when we do final details. Let's work on the next ear. So over here, we're gonna make an upside down V shape. Again, looks kind of like cat ears, no big deal. And if mine don't look the same, which they're not perfect, I can always erase it or fix it at the end when I outline with black Sharpie. Since I made this ear with just a line through it instead of a triangle, I'm going to do the same thing over here, which is just a line from the head going all the way to the point of the ear. Now we have to work on the details inside of the head. Usually foxes are either brown or yellow or orange or golden colored, something like that. So in the warm colors, right? Once in a while they'll be gray. But either way, they usually have little white areas around their mouth. So we're going to separate the bottom part from the top so that we have a white area here, and then the rest can be whatever color we decide to make our fox. The way we're going to do this is let's start on this side. I'm going to go from the ear. So wherever you ended the ear, you're just going to make a curved line going down. We're going to do the same thing over here. So wherever the ear ends, you're just going to go down and make a curved line. Notice that I left the middle empty. This is because I'm going to make a bump here. Now, I don't think my lines are going the same way. It's a little difficult for me to see because I'm sitting down and my paper is kind of high up. So let's see. Let me try to make it a little more. That looks a little better. All right, so in the middle here, we're going to make a bump, just like we did down here, except going the opposite way. So watch me, and then you can do it. We're going bump. That's it. So this will be the area that we leave white when we're coloring our fox. And of course, you're allowed to color your fox however you'd like, but we still want to make our fox look like a real one. Now let's draw the nose. The nose is very simple. All we're gonna do to make a nose is make a triangle shape. So I'm going to make a V, like so. And then you can connect it with a straight line, like a triangle, or you can make it a little bit curved. So I'm making mine a little bit curved. Nothing difficult. This is pretty easy. We know how to draw triangles. There we go. And now we have to draw the eyes. Now, it's up to you if you want to make them look realistic. I'll show you pictures of fox eyes. I'm gonna make mine look like a cartoon. So if you want to copy me, that's fine. Or I can show you a few other ways to make eyes. The easy way that I'm gonna make eyes is I'm just going to make a curved line that looks like a sad face, right? So that's very simple to do. Even kindergarten could do this, even though this is a 1st through 6th grade assignment. And all we're doing is just doing that curved line, okay? So it kind of looks like our fox is super happy. And I mean, I would be super happy if I was at the pool, right? If you don't like this method and you would rather make a more realistic looking eye, I'm gonna turn the paper so you can see another example. So here is another example of how you can make an eye. So you can make a happy face. Now I tilted my happy face. It should really be like this. But I'm doing that on purpose because their eyes are a little bit slanted. Then you can make a sad face on top. And usually a fox will have a really large black line going over their eye. This doesn't always happen, but it goes like this. So if you want to make it more realistic, you can do that. And then usually they'll have their pupil here. And then that will usually be like a golden color or whatever, and then you can make the little circle at the top. Okay, so that could be a much more realistic eye, but it's really not necessary to make your fox look perfect. We're just working on shapes. All right, let's go back to the fox drawing that we were doing on the front. Now we're gonna be working on the body. Oh, I forgot the mouth, my bad. So for the mouth, we're gonna make a really simple mouth. It also will look like a cat mouth. From the triangle, upside down triangle, we're gonna make a line going down. And then we're going to make 2 bumps that look like a W. So bump and bump. And that's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. That looks perfect to me. Let's go ahead and work on the body. So I'm gonna make a little fluffy part on the chest of our fox. And this is going to kind of be like a lighter color, just like the bottom of the face. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make 2 lines that show where the fluffy part is going to be. So I don't want to make it too far out. I made it right around here, so under the eyes is where I put my 2 lines. And we're gonna take these lines and bring them to a point. So I'm gonna draw the point. Point's gonna be right there. So I'm gonna make a curved line going from here till I hit here, and then a curved line going from here until I get to there. Boop. And boop. So that's the little fluffy part in front. Now, at the moment, it doesn't look like anything, but if you don't like making it like this, or you really want it to look extra fluffy, I'm gonna show you another way. So let's say here is where the fox head is. I'll draw the top 2 and the ears. Okay. Down here, somewhere under the eyes, let's say here are the eyes, we made 2 little lines coming out. We made a dot, and then we're connecting it, right? But you can connect it with shaggy lines, okay? So it can look really extra fluffy. That's fine too. If you would rather make it look like this, that's fine. It will actually look more realistic. So feel free to do whichever method you prefer or you like. Or you can try both and see what's better for you. All right, let's continue. So we're gonna be making some pretty simple arms. They're not gonna be super difficult or anything like that, so no worries. We're gonna use the shape of a U coming out from the body to make the arm. So let's make a big sideways U, like so, going from this fluff out and back in. And the arms don't have to both be facing the same direction. You can make them going down or up. Like let's say I want to make this one going up. I would just go like this and then behind the face, right? Or let's say I want this one going down instead. I'll show you how that looks. So I would go out this way and then back to the body. So the shape that, one of my cats is here. I don't know if you guys can see her. All right. Anyway, so all we're doing is the shape of a sideways U. Make sure that your fox's arms are around the same length, or else it's gonna look kind of funny if one of your fox's arms is really long and the other one is super short. There we go. I think that looks better. All right, now we're gonna work on the body. I do feel like the face needs a few more details, but we could always go back to that at the end. So for the body, we're going to start by making 2 lines going down from here. So right where the arm ends. And I'm just gonna go straight down and straight down. If you want the legs to be further apart, because these are gonna be the legs, then you can just make them wider. So instead of making the line go straight down, you would make it go a little bit out. And then the legs will look slightly more spread. Okay, so either way is fine, straight down or a little bit spread out. Just make sure that the 2 lines stop around the same area. Okay. Now we have to make the bottom part of the legs. So we're just gonna make a curved line going up. This is gonna look like the letter J. See, this looks like a letter J. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here, like a flipped letter J. Okay? So all we did was we added a curved line to the bottom of these straight lines. Now we have to connect them, right? If you want your legs to be super long, you're gonna have to go up a bit and connect up here. If you want the legs to be really short and chubby, you're gonna make the line connect right here. I want my legs to be a little bit long, so I'm going to make a line going up here and a line going up here, and that's gonna be the length of my legs, or maybe even a little bit higher. Let me go a little more. Ta-da! And now I can close it here by making another bump. So let's do that. There we go. And you can see how if I had made my legs shorter, this bump would have actually been like down here. Either way is fine. If you don't like the way that you did it, erase and try another method until you get something that you like, right? Even Mrs. Jasnica makes mistakes, as I'm showing you right now because I'm erasing many times. There we go. All right, now our fox does need a tail, and that's going to be important to put before I put the raft that's the fox is floating on, so let's do that. And here's a really cool thing that I'm going to say. Since I just finished watching Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails is one of the characters. Tails has 2 tails, and since we're drawing a fox, if you want your fox to have 2 tails, that's fine. Or if you are a Naruto fan and you like the 9-tailed fox version of Naruto, then you can draw 9 tails. Although I will tell you that is going to be a big challenge because that's a lot of tails, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw 1 tail coming out straight from here, and it's going to be super fluffy. So somewhere on this side of this leg, I'm going to make a bump, and it's going to be more like a curved line, really. And then I'm going to do the same thing coming out from this side until I hit this line. So it's going to be pointy down here, and it's going to be fluffy up here. Okay, so over here, I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to come down. So the shape that we made looks kind of like a leaf, but it also looks like a foxtail. Foxtails are actually pretty fluffy. Usually the end of a foxtail is white. That's not always the case. But the way that I'm going to separate the white from the rest of the color of the body is I'm going to make a zigzag line across the bottom here. So if you would like to do the same thing, follow along with Mrs. Jasnica. I'm going to make a line going down, a line going up, a line going down, and up. So all it is a zigzag. One line, another line, and so on. Kind of looks like a bunch of triangles, right? And then when we get over here, if you want, you can close it or you can go back down, like that. This part will be white. Now, if you want to make it look more realistic, let me show you another way. Usually I show you the examples of the easier or harder way on the back, but I've been erasing a lot already, so I'm just going to do it here in the front. So you can see my eraser marks. That's why I say to make sure that you are drawing very lightly. So if you want to make that look fancier, what you can do, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you can make your lines curved like this. So now it looks kind of like grass, right? And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. So you can make it look kind of sloppy is what I would say. It looks a little bit sloppy. But that makes it look more unique, right? Makes it look more like your own style. There we go. And you know what? I'll make this part going out like that. Ta-da! So there's my foxtail. And again, if you want to add more foxtails, you can add another one over here. In fact, you can add them all over the place. Just to give you an example of other ways that you can do the foxtail, I'm going to turn the paper. This can also give some people time to work if they are working on more than one foxtail. So here is the bottom part of the fox's body. I didn't make it perfect, so let me try to make the legs look the same size. There we go. Maybe, maybe not. All right. Anyway, you can be very creative with your tail. So here is an example. You can make a line going out that's curved, and then it can come back up like this, and that's a tail. And then you can add that line. And let's say you wanted to make 2 tails, right? You can make another one coming out over here, like so, and then add the little white tip. And you can do this to literally the entire bottom of the fox with as many tails as you would like. So let me erase this part right here and show you how I can add a 3rd tail. Let's say it's coming from right here. And see how I'm not just making them go straight? You can be really creative with foxtails because they sway all over the place and they're super fluffy. And you can also make different tails that aren't this sleek. So a more fluffy tail would look something like this. Now you're probably saying, Mrs. Jasnica, that looks really difficult. And if you're saying, Mrs. Jasnica, this looks really difficult, then this type of tail might not be for you, which is perfectly fine. You can do one of the more easy tails, right? So now that we've done more examples of tails, let's go ahead and go back to our fox who should be relaxing in a pool. So we're gonna put a kind of donut looking raft behind the fox so that he doesn't drown in the pool. We're going to make a huge curved line, which will look like a parentheses going from somewhere up here until we hit the tail. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side, okay? So it's gonna look like literally half of a circle because it's supposed to be a donut. So let's do it from somewhere where the ear is, maybe up here, and then make a curved line. If your raft doesn't look this perfect, again, just erase and fix it until you like it. It doesn't matter what anybody else in the class has to say about your art as long as you like it. That's good enough for me. All right, now let's do this side. I think the raft would go behind. It's looking like it's probably gonna go behind. So I'm gonna turn the paper and I'm just gonna draw a curved line behind the fox's head. That's because the raft is going around in a circle. So I'm gonna try to make it as nice of a circle as I can. You could always use something else to make a circle. Just to give you an example, I don't have anything big enough, but this would be a good example of a circular shape, right? So if this was big enough, I could draw this behind the fox and that would solve my problem of not making a perfect circle. I know it's difficult to find circular things around the classroom though, and remember, I don't grade you on how beautiful you draw, so it's okay if it's not perfect. Let's draw the curved line over here. Ta-da! Actually, this side looks better than this side. Who knew? So this is our raft, and since I said it was gonna look like a donut, it's gonna have a circle here in the middle, but the fox is laying in it, and I don't think you're gonna see too much of it, so I'm just gonna put a little curved line here so that I know that there's a donut hole there. Now we could always decorate this like a donut, which would actually be super cute. You know what? Let's do that. So to make this look like a donut, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a wobbly line going all the way around. If this is too difficult for you, you don't have to do it. You can make the raft look however you want. It could have lines through it, whatever makes your raft look nice to you. So I'm making a wobbly line so that it looks like donut frosting. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And again, it does not have to look perfect. This is not about perfection. And then if you want yours to have sprinkles, you can add really long looking ovals like this. And make sure they're not all facing the same direction. That way it looks like a real donut. You can have some going behind, and so on. I'm gonna work on this side now. Some of these shapes are not the same size, but I could always fix that later. As long as you're making kind of like a thin looking oval, it's fine with me. Maybe you don't want yours to have any sprinkles. Maybe you want yours to have frosting only, and that's fine too. In fact, I don't want everybody's to look exactly the same. So it's okay if you decide to do something different. There we go. So now we have the raft, we have the fox, we need water. So, of course, it's really simple to just color the background blue and we'll know that he or she is laying on a raft in the water. But if we add kind of like splashing, that will make it definitely obvious that he or she is in the water. So let's add some kind of like splashes on the side. So to do this, we're going to, just like we did these wobbly lines here, we're gonna make them on the outside so we can color them blue. So this is gonna look like drips. It's gonna make a U shape first, then it's gonna make an N shape or an upside down U. And you can make it bigger this time, then go back up. So I'm just doing a U shape and then an upside down U shape. And you keep doing this. For as long as you want the water to be. If you want to do it all the way around, that's fine, but you don't have to. And then you can even make splashes of water. So to make a splash of water, you're gonna start with a dot, and then you're going to make a U, or a shape like a U, but it's gonna end in the same place it starts. What? Okay, so it's gonna go like this, and then curve like a letter J, and then it's gonna come back up. So it's gonna go like this. That's it. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing over here on this side so that we have a little bit of variety. I'm gonna make another one of those drip looking things on the side over here. So I'm gonna go make the first drip, a little one, and a big one, and so on. Ta-da! And then again, if you want to add a teardrop, you can watch me. I'm making that J shape, and then I'm curving back in until I hit this part that I started with. Okay, now let's work on details. So usually foxes have kind of like black arms and black legs. So all I'm gonna do is just make a line, so a curved line, so that I know I'm gonna color this black and this whatever color the fox is. And I'm gonna do that over here, like so. All I'm doing is separating the fur so I know what color to color it. Same thing with the legs. So I'm going to make a line that goes like this. And you can always make it fluffy looking too, like how we did the tail. But you don't need to. And then over here, we're making another curved line. So now our fox kind of looks like a superhero. I don't know why, but that's what it looks like. And now we're gonna work on the face and final details. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna give our fox eyebrows. You're probably wondering why, because foxes don't have eyebrows, right? But not like a regular eyebrow. I'm gonna make a little oval on top of its eye, and a little oval on top of its eye. The reason why is because I want to color these the color of the, I guess like the white fur. So it's either gonna be beige or white. And this kind of like gives us more detail to our art. Another final detail that you can add is hair inside of the ears. So this will probably be pink, but if we have fur inside of the ear, that would be white. So I'm gonna draw like, it looks like grass coming out of the ear. Now this is not something that you have to do if you're in first or second grade, but it does make your art look a lot cooler, right? So I always add extra details because I feel like it makes my work look better. So I'm adding fur or fluff inside of my fox's ears. You can also add a little bit of fluff on the top of the head. Again, you don't have to, but it doesn't hurt, right? So I'm gonna add a couple of little lines like this. And now I have a fluffy, adorable little fox. I'm gonna add a few more details by just adding some wavy lines around my fox, like so. And then I'm gonna put a couple down here. Again, we're just trying to make it look like the water is moving so that we know that our fox is in water. There we go. All right, now it's time for us to outline and color in.
Oh, that smells good. Can I help out?
Sure can.
All right, scholars, here is my finished artwork. I did notice that I not only added a few details, but I ended up making the spots above, or I guess you can call them eyebrows, the spots above the fox's eyes black, and now they kind of look like they're another set of eyes, so it looks a little bit weird. I ended up making my fox into a girl so that you can tell that the closed eyes were its actual eyes. All right, let's see what you guys were working on.